Do you want to discover more joy, peace, and freedom with food exercising your body? Here we bring a compassionate, holistic, and sustainable approach to fitness so you can fully enjoy the life you want and express your unique self with the world. I'm Michelle Roscoe, and I want to help you find fitness freedom. I'm so glad you're here. You want to make permanent changes? Start here. This could be one of the most important podcast episodes I've ever done because of what it contains. So fitness, people want to make changes. I want to tone this muscle up or lose this weight or gain this muscle, or I want to be a healthier person. I want to get rid of this unhealthy habit that I can't seem to kick. I want to be more kind to myself or sleep more or have less stress in my life. Fitness is all about change. So we typically start with what we need to do. Maybe do a Google search. Give me a plan. Give me a workout. Tell me what works. Show me what worked for someone else. Show me that you have the expertise so I can make these changes. Give me the book that will unlock it all. Give me the strategies. Give me the diet. Give me the hacks. Give me the supplement. Give me the pill. Fitness is all about change. We think that when we get to the place of our goal, that we'll be happier, that we'll be better off, that we'll be successful, whatever image we secretly have in our mind of who we'll be, that is what we're looking for. My experience in coaching people and noticing, why do some people stick with things and some people don't? How do some people move towards what they desire, and why do some people not? Science backs this up as well, and I'm not going to go into the whole science of it. You can read more about it if you'd like. That's not the point of this episode. My experience in science backs this up. Identity is everything. How you see yourself is everything. And this is how you create permanent change. James Clear says incentives can start a habit, identity sustains a habit, and it is a two-way street. The identity and the habits confirm the identity produces the habit. But I think to even have a 50-50 idea of this is incorrect. I think that identity is so important, a huge foundation for change. How you see yourself determines nearly, I'm not going to say everything, but nearly everything in your life. Or at least it determines your entire experience of life. As sucky as it was growing up to constantly move places and see people come and go and have so many shifts in my life, people and places throughout my life, as sucky as it was to feel like I was different being, half Korean in the South, I still get it and it still frustrates me. It's like, where are you really from? It's like, go suck your toe. And if you know, you know. So also being queer, all of these categories in my life where I am in the minority, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing. But it gave me a leg up, so to speak, in being able to realize that everyone sees things differently. So I grew up in the States, I grew up in Korea, I was in different cultures throughout my life. And you just realize I learned from an early age, everyone takes their reality to be the true reality. But if this person thinks that their reality is true and they have these beliefs, and this person thinks their reality is true and they have these beliefs, then what is the right way? And I realized there is no one right way. Just think about going to a culture. The reason that often cultures clash, like if you're from the States, let's just say you're from the West, the United North America, and you go to Asia and you live there, you're going to clash with the culture there because there are different underlying beliefs. And unless you're able to identify those underlying cultural beliefs, what they do is not going to make sense to you, and vice versa. So we operate culturally, familially, socially, individually, with our identities of race and other identities like queerness. We operate on these identities, these underlying beliefs, and it determines our life. Hidden subconscious beliefs rule your outer world. And this is something that I've do a lot of like spiritual teachers, and I love to learn. And I've always heard this, and there's kind of I have felt, maybe it's my own internal thing, but I have felt it comes along with like a ruler slapping you, almost like your hidden beliefs rule your outer world, almost as like a shamey thing, like there's something. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's nothing that is wrong. It's just a cool principle. So you can reverse find, kind of like reverse searching a Google photo. You can reverse find your subconscious beliefs by looking at the actions that you regularly take and the results that you see in your world. So your subconscious beliefs, how you see yourself, your identity, is determining your outer world, your life, your reality. And if you want to know what your subconscious beliefs are, you can kind of turn it around from what you see in your outer world and your actions that you regularly take, i.e. your habits, just like James Clear says. And then look, oh, if I'm doing this over and over again, what is this shining a light on? What belief is this? And you can understand yourself more. Of course, there are some factors that come into play around how far this goes, and this is something that I still think about because we don't want to justify abuse, and some people struggle with illnesses or mental or physical that could impede certain things. So I'm not going to go so far to say like everything we don't want disasters. I'm not going to go into the existential topic of all of that, but just a disclaimer around how far this goes. But it's fair to say that as an adult, mentally present adult, you have so much power over your life. You have so much power over your life. It might not feel like it all the time, but it goes back to your subconscious beliefs and how you see yourself. So instead of saying, that ruler that I mentioned where it's hitting you on the hand, like your subconscious beliefs rule your outer world, what's wrong with you? You need to change I don't want that to be the tone of this. I want it to be empowering. So instead of saying, take responsibility for your life, which is not a bad phrase, but something that could be more nuanced and more empowering is, hey, take your power back with your awareness and choice. So where have you given your power away and said, oh, I can't do that. I don't know. They said I can't do that. Or this person, I'm not as good as this person. Or I really can't control this. Take your power back. And how do you do that? Your awareness of what's going on actually in your life right now. And choice, choosing differently. Viktor Frankl, I've said this in another podcast because I just love this quote, and I heard it in a book. I'm listening to Lori Gottlieb, You Should Talk to Someone, and she's talking about how in our lives we have these stories in our minds, and we replay these stories. Even if things on the outside are disproving the stories that we have, we'll still hold on to those stories. And anyways, that was a good chapter. She quotes Viktor Frankl as well, this same quote, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And it goes on to talk about how we always have a choice. In every single moment, we always have a choice. And this is someone whose freedoms were taken away from him. He did not have his family. He couldn't choose what he wanted to do for work. He couldn't even choose like when to use the restroom. He was basically doing slave labor in horrible conditions, severely malnourished and underslept, in cold, bitter cold. People were dying around him. He ended up losing his family, his only hope that he had in going back and coming out of the concentration camps. But he said this. So I'll say it again, to the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. That is where your power is, your choice, your awareness, and your choice. I remember he said in the book, I was listening to this part when I was in Sitges, or Sitges, I still don't know. It was Carnival in Spain, close to Barcelona, and I remember I was at the beach and looking at people around me, and he said he would see the loss of hope in people's eyes, and they would just give up, and like the life behind their eyes had gone because they didn't think they had a choice. And then he could see the people who in these horrible situations tried to make the best of it, maybe giving a little bit extra of their portion to someone else, or practicing these acts of kindness. We always have a choice. So where do these subconscious beliefs come from? Like how do we change it? Our subconscious beliefs start when we're kids, like when we're babies, and we gather data around the world. So these things around us happen and we try to make sense of them. And so we develop these beliefs. And then we usually carry those beliefs that we have picked up without examining them. And they'll continue to show up in our lives. And I will be vulnerable here and share one of the beliefs that I picked up early on is people always leave. Like I said it earlier, people always leave. And I can see how that subconscious belief, I took it to be true. Like no one stays, people always leave. People that I care about, people I don't want to leave, they always leave. And that subconscious belief, I believed it so much that I've made it true in my life. And I can see that looking back. And there are other factors at play as well, but just for the sake of example, we carry these beliefs without examining them. And that's why so many people love The Work by Katie Byron. Loving What Is a great book. She has other ones, but she has these 4 questions, like whatever belief you have, you examine it. Like, is it true? Can I really know that it's true? Is there a reason? Is there a stress-free reason I should keep this belief? And who would I be without this belief? And there's lots of sub-questions. Those are really great to help you understand what your subconscious beliefs are. And that's really what she's helping people do, is like, I feel this way, I don't like the way things are. And then you can examine your subconscious beliefs and change them, and it will change the way that you see the situation. And we pick up subconscious beliefs beyond our childhood, from peers, from the world that we live in, from our own experiences. And they're not always true. We operate on them whether we're aware of them or not. And this goes back to a simple example of in fitness, is like some people, they have this subconscious belief that they are not capable, like, no matter how hard I try, nothing changes, or I can't do anything right. These subconscious beliefs come through, and it's kind of like from the outside, you can see it like, oh, come on, you can do it. I know you can. And sometimes that's what helps people change, is someone else believing in them, at least initially. But you can see it from the outside. And maybe you know a friend, or you know someone in your life where like they operate by this belief, and you wish you could just shake it out of them and be like, come on, and then you also see people maybe who operate from subconscious beliefs like, hey, everything always works out for me. I'm the luckiest person in the world, or the world is beautiful. And you see that playing in their lives, and you can see 2 people in the same exact situation responding completely differently to things because of their subconscious beliefs. So I will tell you with every single fiber of my being, And all that I know, that if you want deep change and you want it without force or struggle, start with being, not doing. Not what do I need to do? What's the plan? What's the strategy? What am I missing? What do I need to learn? Those things can be helpful, but they're like way after being. And I raised the question, how do you change those beliefs? And that's like a whole huge topic. But let me share with you the most important beliefs to start with, and then an analogy that can help you, and then we'll go from there. So the most important beliefs to start with are: 1, I am worthy. I am worthy, not when or if, but now, because this is the foundation for change and getting what you desire. If you don't believe that you're worthy of receiving what you want, like say, let's say for example that you are a smoker. Okay, let's just say that. Because it's an unhealthy habit. It's there's not really much benefit to smoking, and no shame if you do smoke. I smoked on and off for like a decade. Yeah, I was a smoker. So I get it. It was hard. Quitting smoking is really, really hard. But if you want, let's say you want to change that. Let's say you want to stop smoking. You have to believe that you are worthy of that. Like if you're like, oh, fuck it, I don't care about my health. I'll just die early. And I don't care if I get cancer, carpe diem, middle fingers up to the world. You won't really want to change. And I know that's kind of more of an extreme example, but you will not be able to receive what you desire unless you know you are worthy of your desires. And you have to also have that foundation of worthiness for you to be able to connect with your desires, not from this like neediness, like I need to lose weight. If I don't lose weight, then I'm a horrible person. I have this shame around me. If you want change, and I'm not saying that, I'm not encouraging weight loss, but if you want change, you have to believe that you are worthy of it, in almost this sense of not needing it, of not being desperate for it, because you know that you're going to be okay no matter what. So I am worthy, number 1. And number 2, what we've been talking about, I am powerful. Feel these words as I say them. I create my life. I choose my life. I choose my responses. I choose my beliefs. I am powerful. So you know you're worthy. What are you going to do with it? You are powerful. You are so, so, so fucking powerful. You are so powerful. And this is the foundation of my work in the 4-H method and everything that I do. And you go to my website, you'll see the little banner, Hope, Habits, Happiness, Health. You are already 100% worthy and powerful, just as you are right now. Because none of it really matters unless you get this. Because you can try all the hacks on the outside, you can do the workout programs, you could do the diets, you could do all this stuff. But if you don't have these two things, it's kind of like a skeleton walking around, or a blank coloring page. There's just no color to it. There's no life to it. And this is the analogy I mentioned. It's like, okay, imagine you have a plot of land, okay, and others chose some plants for you before you could choose. So you have some plants in there from before you were even aware of this plot of land. And you chose some plants for yourself. And if you stop to look at your garden now, okay, and really honestly, you might have some weeds there, maybe some things that you don't want. maybe anxious thoughts around not being able to do X, or X never being possible for you, or just things that kind of take the life out of the garden. And maybe you like a lot of the things in your garden. Maybe you have lots of plants and you want more of these beautiful flowers or plants and you want more of them. And maybe maybe you've seen it in someone else's garden, something that you really want that you haven't planted yet, and you're thinking about it and you want to plant it. Your mind and your life is this plot of land. It is composed of your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, what you fill your mind and heart with, what you embody, the emotions that you regularly feel, the thoughts that you regularly think. All of this is who you are. And I do want to say, OCD tendencies, there's a lot of fear around your thoughts. And so I want to make a disclaimer there too, because a lot of times when people are like, your thoughts determine your life, someone with OCD tendencies, that's like the scariest thing possible, because there are things that you think that you're not really wanting to think. So I just want to acknowledge that person who might be listening and sending lots of love to you. Okay, you're beautiful. So in this plot of land, this is your garden. It's no one else's. So you get to decide what it looks and feels like. It's like if you live alone and you have your own space, you get to decide what it looks and feels like. You get to choose what decorations you put up, what furniture, how clean it is. You get to decide. It all starts inside. It all starts inside. And you create your life. You deserve to have the one you desire, one that's flourishing and beautiful, magical and cool, and exactly what you want. And I mentioned, how do you do this? And of course, it's a process, but I want to share that even just listening to this podcast episode, you might have heard a lot of this stuff that I'm sharing in here, but take it seriously. If you want change, this is where I would say you should start with, I am worthy and I am powerful. Like, even if you don't fully believe it, start to act as if you are. Like, if you are worthy, sit down and write down what you really want for your life. And as you write it, have this sense of belief that it is possible for you and that you deserve it. Write down what you want for your health, how you want to feel in your body. Write down the kind of relationships you want to have. Write down every single thing, how much money you want to have. Write down what you want and believe that you are worthy of it. That's a good place to start. And then, again, like I said, take your power back. You don't like something in your garden, you have the power to remove it. Yeah, it might take some time, it might take some work, but you have the power to do that. You want something to change? You have the power to do that. Take your power back. And don't focus too much on okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? But start focusing on this. Start feeling, sit with yourself and just start, like, what would it feel like to feel worthy? Is there someone in my life or someone I've seen who embodies worthiness? And I wonder what it feels like to be them. What would it feel like to really know my power, to feel my power and how extremely powerful I am? How would that feel like? Start to wonder. It might be a new sensation, it might be different for you, but everything starts with being your subconscious beliefs. And when you start with the being, this is what happens. The doing feels like something you want to do. It's the most natural consequence to who you are. And you start to do the things that you want to do, but it's not pushing, it's not struggle. Habits are crucial for this. And in the 4-H method, hope is the foundation. I'm worthy, I'm powerful. Habits are the next part. Habits are the next part. That's how important they are. They're practices, just like James Clear talks about, but they are not primary. And I will say, it's a both and. You have to change the practices and the being, but focus more of your energy on the being is what I would encourage you to do, because the habits are secondary. Nurture the garden that you want to create. Decide. And if you want some support, some structure, a safe place for you to practice all of this, it's the 4-H method. Hope, habits, happiness, health. It's the only health and fitness program I know of that starts here. Beyond just a nod, beyond just like, oh yeah, know your why. Oh yeah, who you are is important, but like really, really gets into the nitty gritty of your being and not just the doing. It starts with your being. It's the only health and fitness program that really gives you this foundation, the strongest foundation for long-lasting growth. Because you will always make decisions and live in accordance not with who you want to be or who you think you should be or how others perceive you, but who you really believe you are. And it's a lifelong journey. It's not a one and done thing, but it's a beautiful becoming and choosing who you want to be. It's not predestined in stone. You get to choose it, and you get to choose today. Just like Viktor Frankl says, the last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And there were always choices to make. Every day, every hour, offered the opportunity to make a decision which determined whether you would or would not submit to those powers which threatened to rob you of your very self, your inner freedom, which determined whether or not you become the plaything to circumstance, renouncing freedom and dignity. Take your power back. Know that you are worthy of what you desire, and you are worthy of living the most beautiful, vital life full of vitality. That's what I'm going for. A healthy life where you feel good with and in your body, where you feel good with food, where you feel good with exercise. I'm telling you, you can have it and you deserve it, and you have the power to create it. Hey, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Fitness Freedom. If you enjoyed it, it would mean so much to the show, and it's helping others as well, if you would give it a positive review wherever you're listening. And if you know someone who would enjoy it, the best thing you could do is share it with them so we spread the goodness. Know that you are already inherently worthy and infinitely powerful. If you're ready to make that more of a reality in your body, health, and life, go get a free resource from my website, mlroscoe.com, or join one of my programs. And my greatest invitation to you is to make your body your home and your health your hero journey with me and other heroes in the 4-H method. I like you and I love you. Coach Michelle. Peace out.